Okay, so who is the Footie TIpster? He doesn't want you to know, so I can't tell you. He wants to stay anonymous, but I can give you a bit of a background about who he is, what he does. So, me and him first come across each other, he found my channel, and we started speaking, and it turns out we have a very similar philosophy with sports betting. He bets a lot of underdogs, he bets a lot of draw lines. He doesn't just bet big favourites, and it's something that I'm very critical about with other handicappers. If you're not betting underdogs sometimes, and you claim to be a professional, that's a big red flag for me. Because if you're looking at football day in, day out, to never come across an underdog that you like to bet, I think that just shows that you're a casual sports bettor pretending to be a sharp. The Footie TIpster, it was obvious he was a sharp straight away. With other sports bettors, I've trialled them for my channel for a month or 2 months. None of them have had good enough results to work with me. With the Footie TIpster, a few days into his trial, I made a group for him. He was just that good. He's someone who is extremely naturally talented at sports betting. He just has a good mind for it, but he also understands football very well. And those two things together, as well as understanding probability and odds, mean that he's probably the best sports bettor. He is the best sports bettor that I've ever come across for football by a country mile. I've come across a couple other cappers who do make profit with football, but in very specific circumstances, like betting boosts, or betting, specific plays like bet builders where you can boost the odds, and that gives you an artificial barrier where you can inflate the odds and get plus EV bets. It's not a sustainable long-term strategy because just using one bookie like Bet365, they're going to ban you eventually or restrict you, which is what happened to me very quickly. So he's one of the best or the best football sports bettor that I've ever come across. I've never seen a handicapper with his results. He hits 15% ROI routinely in our standard VIP, and in the syndicate, he actually was hitting 51% ROI. I do post bets in the syndicate as well, but most of them are his, so 51% ROI after 4 weeks, which is an insane number. I think we'll probably average out around 20 because we're only putting the best bets in there, and 51 is just unbelievably high. It probably will average out overall, but it just shows how good he is. In terms of his background, he's someone who bets for a living. He doesn't want it to be known who he is. You can understand a lot of people who gamble a lot of money for a living. They don't want to be a public figure. They don't want people to know their identity. And right from the beginning, we made that agreement. He said, I don't want people to know who I am. The way I sold it to him, he wasn't really that interested in being part of the group because he was making a really good living betting as it was. But the way I sold it to him was, look, you'll get a certain amount of sales. You're already locking these bets in anyway. So all you're doing is just sharing what you're already doing. Most of the work is the analysis. So it's just posting what you're locking in and what you're betting. So you're already doing the work. You may as well get paid even more money from it than just from your profits. So it's a win-win situation. Fortunately, me and him, our personalities are very similar. As a business owner, I'm always working, 16 hours a day, working on Christmas Day, Boxing Day. It's just part of it. I love owning a business. It's what makes me excited. He loves handicapping. I actually have to tell him to take time off. And for him to do that and not be a business owner, that just shows how committed to it, how much he loves it. And when you're really good at something, it's very easy to get obsessed with it and really, just dive into it that deeply because he is that good. Most football handicappers I've seen make a loss. The ones who are good make a very small profit. He's hitting 15% ROI routinely. So he knows he's one of the best. He wants to get even better. Me and him both treat sports betting like a vocation. We're always improving and always getting better. He likes the notoriety of showing what he can do, but he doesn't want anyone to know his identity. So it's kind of a perfect situation for us because I'm the face of the business. I do the promotion. He does the capping for the football side of the business. I do other sports. So he gets rewarded for that work, but he gets to move silently and not have people know who he is, how much money he has, anything about his wealth or his family. That's all completely anonymous. And this is what I was trying to do for a very long time, to find a legit sports bettor who doesn't want a cap because they're making so much money from betting, and then give them a deal that's, an offer that's too good to refuse to get them to work with me. I'm very lucky to have that, and to be honest, it probably wouldn't have worked if we were different personalities, but because we had such a similar betting philosophy, it's a win-win, because when we discuss how we're going to bet or when we're analysing games, we learn from each other and we both do better from it. So that's who the Footie Tipster is, well, or who he isn't. Can't tell you who he is, unfortunately. If you keep watching, you'll probably get more clues about his background, but for now, he's just completely anonymous.